Hi, I'm Rachel, and this is my December 2022 book haul, the final book haul of 2022. And I think, like for a lot of people making book hauls around this time of year, it's primarily a holiday book haul where we get to show off the gracious gifts that we got from other people. And in fact, I'm going to start with a gift that is book adjacent rather than a book itself and talk about pajamas. In fact, I am wearing a new nightgown right now on this channel because I'm very classy on BookTube. But what I have to show you is something from my sister, a pair of PJs. I will start with these leggings. If you can see, there is a definite book design to them. And then here is the top. It says, "My weekend is booked." I'm so excited to actually wear these, even if it's just for myself. But anyway, on to the content we're actually here for. I'm going to start with this book, which my cousin got for me. It's called The Artist's Way, A Spiritual Path to Higher Creativity. And I talked about it just on my most recent AuthorTube video, which I'll link down below, because he got it for me because he was hoping we might read it and do the exercises in it together. So to explain more about that, I will read from the back. The Artist's Way is an empowering book for aspiring and working artists. With the basic principle that creative expression is the natural direction of life, Julia Cameron and Mark Bryan lead you through a comprehensive 12-week program to recover your creativity from a variety of blocks, including limiting beliefs, fear, self-sabotage, jealousy, guilt, addictions, and other inhibiting forces, replacing them with an artistic confidence and productivity. The Artist's Way links creativity to spirituality by showing in non-denominational terms how to tap into the higher power that connects human creativity with the creative energies of the universe, and guides you through a variety of highly effective exercises and activities that spur your imagination and capture new ideas. Whatever your spiritual orientation, The Artist's Way will resonate in your creative mind with truth, wisdom, and inspiration. So yeah, my cousin and I were both writers. I think technically he's kind of more in line with this book, looking to sort of unblock in a general way to get a project going, whereas I'm in the middle of some stuff, but I feel like, a boost could always be helpful, Everybody deals with either writer's block or, other laziness, I suppose. So I thought it would be fun, too, to be able to do this with him, which means I really should get the ball rolling here. Like, he gave me the book to peruse and then to get back to him, so I should do that. These next books, admittedly, I send my family a list of all of the books that I want to read in the near future, and they know now about my, sprawling TBR, so they very kindly stick to my lists for the most part, starting with this book from my parents. This is Empire of Exiles by Aaron M. Evans. I've talked about it on and off for the past few months since I heard about it. This is a epic fantasy novel about archivists who are at the heart of a revolution, and I was excited because I like archivists like as the main characters, and Aaron M. Evans talks a lot about world building in her promotional stuff that I've listened to, so I definitely do want to read this soon. I went ahead and put this on my resolutions list for the new year, which I will link down below, so definitely hoping this will be a 2023 read. And most of the rest of these, which are used books that my sister and her family kindly gifted me, are ones I definitely also want to get to in 2023 because they are part of my top of the Goodreads goal that I set for myself, that I try to clear basically the books at the top of my Goodreads TBR every year, meaning in 2023 I'll be clearing the books that I added from the summer of 2018 to the summer of 2019. And I have a whole yearly reading schedule with all of those books already set up because I'm that type of person. So in no particular order, here's what I'm going to get to. The first one is The Animators by Kayla Ray Whitaker. which, was a popular literary fiction title, a few years ago. And I believe it's compared a lot to The Interestings by Meg Wolitzer, that it's about a group of creative friends in their formative years. So I'm hoping it'll live up to that hype. And here is Idaho by Emily Ruskovich, which I don't remember much about anymore. I'm sure I heard about it probably through Book Riot, but I will read from the flap. Anne and Wade have carved out a life for themselves from a rugged landscape in northern Idaho, where they are bound together by more than love. With her husband's memory fading, Anne attempts to piece together the truth of what happened to Wade's first wife, Jenny, and to their daughters. In a story written in exquisite prose and told from multiple perspectives, including Anne, Wade, and Jenny, now in prison, we gradually learn of the mysterious and shocking act that fractured Wade and Jenny's lives, of the love and compassion that brought Anne and Wade together, and of the memories that reverberate through the lives of every character in the novel Idaho. In a wild emotional and physical landscape, Wade's past becomes the center of Anne's imagination, as Anne becomes determined to understand the family she never knew, and to take responsibility for them, reassembling their lives and her own. So yeah, family drama ahoy! This is definitely my wheelhouse, hoping for good things. This next novel is also family drama, but bigger world affairs as well. This is Salt Houses by Hala Alyan. Her first novel, I believe. She's written at least one more after this. Hala Alyan is of Palestinian descent, and this novel, I think, was the start of a trend of Palestinian female novelists being published lately, and I know the story starts in the aftermath, I think, of the 1967 war, following this family from their home and around other areas of the Middle East, I believe. And this is my first time seeing this particular cover, but I like it. It's so colorful, and the text is striking. So anyway, it's obviously what matters. Inside is what matters, but looking forward to this. In Jewish fiction, I have Juventud by Vanessa Blakesley, which I'm sure I found through the Jewish Book Council website. Anyway, the protagonist of this story is a girl from Colombia, and she has some Jewish ancestry, and it is about her life during some of the turbulence and upheavals in that country. It's kind of reminding me of reading Fruit from the Drunken Tree a few years ago, which is also about a Colombian family, and one of the characters, like this protagonist, I think comes from a more privileged background, but that character, like I assume this character, will have to deal with maybe taking the blinders off a little and experiencing some other things. And I think there's some romance in here. And yeah, also there apparently, I just did some searching on BookTube, is a book trailer for this book, which I haven't watched all the way through, but I will link it down below. Here's another one I heard about probably through Liberty Hardy on Book Riot. This is The Witchfinder's Sister by Beth Underdown, and this is historical fiction. It takes place in England in the 17th century. It's about a widowed woman who moves in with her brother, who I believe has become very fundamentalist and is engaged in basically being a witch hunter, and I think it's based off of real history, but it also has maybe a thriller aspect. And so it's exciting because I feel like, the specifics of this time frame isn't something I usually read about, but the clash between family members over these issues makes it really right up my alley, so I'm excited. Also from Book Riot is Ferocity by Nicola Lagioia, which I believe was probably on an Italian, post that they did a few years ago, something like that. This one, in fact, won the Strega Prize, which is a prestigious Italian book prize, and I am excited to add more translated fiction to my list. This one was translated by Anthony Sugar, and I will read from the flap about what this book is about. Ferocity is at once an intimate family saga and a cinematic portrait of the moral and political corruption of an entire society. It is an ambitious, stylish work by one of Italy's foremost novelists. Bari, southern Italy. On a stifling summer's night on the outskirts of town, a young woman named Clara, the daughter of the region's most prominent family of real estate developers, stumbles naked, dazed, and bloodied down a major highway. Her death will be deemed a suicide. Her estranged half-brother, however, cannot free himself from her memory or the questions surrounding her death, and the more he learns about Clara's life, the more he reveals the moral decay at the core of his family's ascent to social prominence. Ferocity combines suspense, psychological acuity, and contemporary realism in a feat of storytelling that earned its author Italy's preeminent literary prize, the Strega. It is fierce and relentless in pursuit of its characters' psychological truths, yet lyrical and moving as it describes the natural splendor of Italy, ravaged by greed and regulatory negligence. So yeah, sometimes I get a little wary. I feel bad, like I'm maybe betraying my own family, much of whom still lives in southern Italy, by getting drawn to these dramatic portrayals of people doing bad things, basically. But I don't know, it is a hefty book. I think a lot will be going on in it, so hopefully it lives up. Returning to Jewish fiction, I found through the Jewish Book Council. Here is a used copy, sadly a little scuffed on the cover, of And After the Fire by Lauren Belfer. And this is a particular subset of Holocaust fiction which deals with pilfered art, or pilfered music in this case. But I'm perhaps being a little limiting by calling it simply Holocaust fiction, because there's 3 storylines. The first of which starts in 1783 in Germany, and then it goes into the Holocaust, and the final storyline is in 2010, which is probably relatively contemporary to when this book was published. And also, it deals with Bach and writing an anti-Jewish masterpiece, so that'll be unsettling. So yeah, it was a National Jewish Book Award winner back in the day too, so hoping that speaks well for it. And finally, what better way to end this book haul than my 2022 book hauls with a gift to myself, and the one on this list that I don't have tried and true plans to read in 2023, but maybe I will anyway, because I'm very excited to try Bianca Murray, and this is her novel, If You Want to Make God Laugh, which I got from East City Books in DC. Trying to get out the bookmark here, and I'll link to East City Books down below. I love East City Books, but I particularly wanted to buy one of Murray's novels from them because she has a good relationship with the booksellers of that bookstore. To backtrack, I know Bianca Murray from her podcast, The Shit No One Tells You About Writing. I love this podcast. It's a wonderful writing craft podcast. One of my major success stories of the year is I got somebody from my writer salon as obsessed, or maybe even more obsessed with the podcast than I am. I even found my beta reading group through Bianca Murray because she started a matchup service after the popularity of said podcast, which I'll link down below. So after all of that, I really wanted to try out some of her work for myself, and of all of her novels published, this is the one that sounded most interesting to me, so I will read from the back. In a squatter camp on the outskirts of Johannesburg, 17-year-old Zodwa lives in desperate poverty under the shadowy threat of a civil war and a growing AIDS epidemic. 8 months pregnant, Zodwa carefully guards secrets that could get her killed if discovered. Across the country, wealthy socialite Ruth appears to have everything her heart desires, but it's what she can't have that leads her to break down. Meanwhile, in Zaire, a disgraced former nun, Delilah, grapples with a past that refuses to stay buried. When the two return to their rural hometown to heal, the discovery of an abandoned newborn baby upends everything. What follows is the rich, unforgettable story of 3 unique women who are brought together in their darkest time and discover the ways that love can transcend the strictest boundaries. So yeah, I'm very excited to go to a place I know little about and to follow disparate women whose experiences are fresh and new to me, and to see how they might intersect. Maybe there's like a found family element to this story as well. I feel justified in adding this to my shelf and into supporting this author who's done so much for me. And that about covers it for me now. I will leave the Goodreads links to all of these books linked down below if you would like to know more information about them. 2022 is indeed trickling out the door now, but I hope to be back very imminently for one final AM reading video this year, which might be looking more forwards than backwards, but hey, that's exciting too, because the reading obviously will be going on. I hope all of you are enjoying your most recent gifts and purchases of books as well, and are excited for your own New Year's in reading. Thanks so much for watching, everyone, and I'll see you next time.